إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi everyone. How's everyone all right? Few things before I actually start our halaqah, our gathering. There's a couple of things. You see, I'm a dawah trainer, I'm a teacher as well. And you know when teachers, when they get on their podium, they like to act big. So I'm going to act big for a few minutes. I hope you guys bear with me. One thing, there's a lot of things in the way, right? So there's a table, there's pillars. So if you guys can, because mashallah, we've got a lot of seats available. If you guys want to adjust yourselves so you can see me, so we can track. So I can't see Hadika, my daughter, but maybe she's hiding from me on purpose. But yeah, you guys can move around if you want to, inshallah. Yeah, there's enough chairs. Brothers, if I can, I'm going to pick on you guys, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, jazakallah. And if we do have an influx of all the Ilford bad boys, the bad mans, the gangs, inshallah, then I'm sure you guys can get the chairs out and adjust on side, inshallah, yeah? Just a two more quick things, inshallah, and then we're going to our topic. First of all, who does not know about Youth Club? Just raise your hands. Who does not know about Youth Club? Oh, alhamdulillah. Okay, one sister, mashallah, alhamdulillah. And by the way, don't worry, it's not you're not going to be thrown out, yeah? Don't worry. Okay, so most of you know about Youth Club, and of course, if I asked you what is Youth Club, you're going to say Tahir bin Jalil, Raja Zia, speakers, podcasts, which I'll get angry about. No, I'm only joking. But they are mashallah, the biggest speakers about Youth Club. Youth Club is much more than just speakers. Youth Club is much more than just talks and podcasts. And inshallah, we can discuss that after this mini presentation. What is everyone's Urdu like? Does anyone not understand Urdu? Just raise your hands. Like, meaning, understand it, not speak it. It's two brothers there, yeah? Okay. So if I said to you, Kya haal hai yaar, theek thaak? What do I just say? Kya haal hai, theek hai? Bro, you didn't teach Urdu, akhi. No Urdu.
It's not our language.
That's true. Good point, mashallah. Okay, so I'll minimize the Urdu, but if I do use Urdu words now and again, because it is Youth Club, it's from Pakistan, it's Urdu, there's that Urdu thing. So if I use it now and again to get a bit of emotions, then I'm sure your dad will translate it, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, that's the other thing. So Youth Club, brothers and sisters, who knows about Youth Club, by the way? When did it begin? He said 2011. I'm not the founder, by the way. May Allah bless you. I was one of the pioneers. But 11 years ago is when it began. Does anyone know when and how it began? Just show your hands and speak. I know one person knows, but she's not going to say anything, so that's fine, inshallah. Brothers, do you know how it began? Who began it? No? Okay, so it's good to talk about this, inshallah. Well, mashallah, sisters began it. Sisters began Youth Club, alhamdulillah. And the reason why I point that out, because mashallah, when you ask people, when I ask you guys, what is Youth Club? You'll say Tahir bin Jalil, you'll say Raja Zia, you'll say Muhammad Ali. You see these amazing speakers, mashallah, yeah? But they're at the front. They're at the forefront. Behind the scenes, it's the sisters, mashallah, Allah Mubarak. Always has, and still is. And so, mashallah, it was the magnificent, was it 7 or 10? Do you remember sisters? 10 sisters, mashallah. And they began in Shifa, it was linked with Shifa College. They used to be called Strangers. This was around May 2011. Fast forward October, myself and the brother called Raja Zia, which I'm sure you heard of, we went to our first public event in Lakeview. I don't know if you guys know Islamabad. There's Lakeview Park, mashallah. So we had a really nice biryani from 7th Road. It used to be called YC Biryani. Very spicy, I remember that, mashallah. So we used to have a get together. That first event was very interesting. We sat around in a halaqah, because this is a halaqah, by the way, yeah? And do you guys know what I mean by halaqah? If you don't, just raise your hands. Who does not know what halaqah means? Khadij, do you know what halaqah means? So raise your hands. I am speaking English, right? Okay, halaqah for those, because this is a halaqah, it's a bit different to events. Halaqah is more like in traditional Islamic history, is like a study circle. So back in history, people used to sit in a mosque or a building, and they sit in a circle, literally in a circle on the floor, and they go for a topic. Either a sheikh will speak, either a speaker will speak. And on that point as well, by the way, I may look like a sheikh or a maulana, but wallahi, I'm far from it. Yeah, I'm not saying this out of humility. I'm not a sheikh, I'm not a maulana. I'm not a Imam Saab or nothing. Just like to dress like one, just a wannabe. I'm not even a student of knowledge, Maybe one day. I'm just someone who's trying to get involved in the dawah. Yeah, just trying to get involved in dawah. So, but the halaqah is a get-together, a small informal get-together. So this may look really grandiose. MashaAllah, the brothers and sisters put a lot of effort into this. May Allah reward them. Brother Muhammad Chowdhury, MashaAllah, worked hard, found this place. But this is a halaqah, and we want to do this, inshallah, regularly. So some will be grandiose like this, others will be very small. Yeah? So it'll be a mix and match, inshallah. Okay, so these were some of the things. Now, to start off with, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling very cold. I can feel some icy conditions. Can you feel a bit of ice here? Yeah, I think we should break the ice. What do you reckon? You're right. By the way, there's a question I asked, which I'm not going to ask today, maybe in a future event, and you guys can make a note of it. One of the questions I ask is, if you were to be a type of food, what would you be and why? And so I give an example. So if I was to be a food, I'd be cheesy because I come out with cheesy lines. Yeah. Or the other one is, I'll be like mint because I'm a cool guy. But anyway, apni tarif, right? That means praising yourself. Okay, so icebreaker. I want at least, inshallah, 6 sisters and 6 brothers to answer these questions, yeah? So let's see who's the first, the awwaloon. The questions are, so raise your hand in a minute, and I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, inshallah. Your name, not your ID Nadra card number, just your name, What do you do? What's your profession? Student, working, this, that. And what would your superpower be? If you were to have a superpower, what would it be and why? Yeah? So name, what do you do? Superpower and why? Who wants to go first? Raise your hands. Let's break this ice. Let's smash it. Don't all put your hands up at once. Yep, Muhammad Rahim, Masha at the back.
Name is Muhammad Rahim, profession security officer, and the superpower I would say is.
Be careful.
I wouldn't really say superpower, but.
No, it has to be superpower, bro. There's no humility here.
I would say.
Last minute changes.
I would say being as wealthy as Andrew Tate, I would say.
What, sorry?
Being wealthy as well as Andrew Tate.
What a name to use with sisters, eh? Well, anyway. Out of all the names in the world. Okay, so being super wealthy, let's say, yeah? Without the names. Okay. Why? Better.
To help the communities and...
hang on, whoa, yeah. MashaAllah, very noble of you, but you want to do something for yourself as well, right?
100%.
But that's okay, fine, I'll take that. We'll accept that, inshallah. Okay, excellent. Right, sisters, let's have someone, sisters. So name, what do you do? And a superpower. I promise I'm not going to pick on my kids today, or my nephew. He's here somewhere. There he is. I can't see him on the table. Yeah, sisters, name, what do you do? And superpower. Okay, I'll have to come back to the sisters. Was that a hand up, sister, or was that an adjustment of the... Can I pick on you anyway, now that they were speaking?
My name's Eliza, I work as a support worker, and my superpower would be being invisible. So I can
Being invisible, okay.
so I can see what people are saying behind my back.
Oh, wow. Interesting. There's a lot of deep psychology there, sister. MashaAllah. Excellent. Thanks for being the first. Okay, back to the brothers. We'll have a few more. Yes.
My name's Abdullah. I'm in sales, and I say my superpower is networking.
Is what?
Networking, connecting.
Networking. Okay.
Connecting with people, whether it's Dharma related or otherwise.
Okay. Would you class it as a superpower?
I think so. Not everyone is
Okay.
able to just go and talk to random people.
That's true. Yeah, I struggle with that as well sometimes. Anyway, Jazakallah, excellent.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, Jazakallah Abdullah. Okay, anyone? Hands up. Now, hopefully you get in the mood of it now. We've had 3 people, mashallah. Who's the 4th?
My name is Asma, and I'm a psychologist by profession. I would like to fly.
Fly, okay.
So I can-
Why?
So I can travel.
Oh, yeah, because of the strikes. Yeah. Especially when there's strikes and stuff, you can fly to events as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, who's next? really want to pick on my kids, but they're going to have a words with me afterwards. Come on, what do you reckon, one of you? No? That's why they're hiding behind the pillar. What about this young man with a great smile?
Madam, my name is Shamir. I'm a student. I study computer science at university, and I guess my superpower would be super speed.
Super speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get things done more efficiently. Just helpful.
Okay. Efficient. Okay, I'll take that, inshallah. I have to take that. Why would I dispute that? Yeah. Right. We'll have two more, inshallah, then we'll get on with our discussion.
So, my name is Umar. I'm basically from healthcare industry, and my superpower would be to become an Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Maybe to do jihad.
Oh.
Help your breast. Yeah.
Acha, subhanAllah. You've really gone in, mashallah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Excellent. All right, we'll have one more from the sisters and then we'll. Oh, so did you want to go, yeah?
My name is Zan, and I'm currently studying HIFS, and I'm in second year right now of a job. And
Okay.
if I were to have a superpower, I feel like it would be teleportation.
Teleportation, okay.
Yeah, to make it easier, if you want to get to a masjid, just teleport there real quick. Teleport to school with it.
You know, that's actually interesting. The only thing is you'll lose the reward of walking to the masjid. But anyway, unless you could do ijtihad on that, you know. Where else would you like to teleport to other than the masjid? Around the world, like for example. Like you woke up morning, I fancy going to...
I fancy going back to Pakistan.
Okay.
And let me just teleport my uncle, say hi.
Have a kadai and come back. Yeah. You know, you open the kitchen, you open the fridge, and there's nothing. There's dal pakiya, right? So you say, you know, let me go to Lahore, butt kadai or something. Come back, yeah.
Or biryani.
Vaisi biryani. That's it. Okay, alhamdulillah. All right, sisters, do you fancy having a go? One more person. No. Yes. Maybe. No, can't think of anything. Okay, no problem, inshallah. No problem. Okay, Jazak, I think we've broken a bit of ice, inshallah. So today, what I'm going to discuss, inshallah, and it's more of a discussion. I hope we'll have plenty of question and answers. So I think schedule-wise, we're going to speak for 20 minutes, inshallah. Have a break for 20 minutes. So I'll speak for 20 minutes. 20-minute break where you can have some refreshments. I've always wanted to do this. So in case of a fire, there's a fire exit over there. I always want to do that. Toilets you can see. Yeah. So this is sisters' prayer area and chilling area. Brothers. Prayer at the back, chilling area, and toilets are there, helps for tea, coffee, and those nice looking things, wherever they are. Some sort of dessert, right? What are they? Chocolate cups, mashallah. Okay, actually, mashallah, it's a reason of splendid job. And then after 20 minutes, we'll resume for another 20 minutes, 20 odd minutes, inshallah. Finish our presentation, finish our halaqah, and then Q&A, and then networking, and those who want to get involved with YC, help us grow, inshallah. We can discuss that. So the topic is let's celebrate Islam. Why did we choose this topic for this halaqah? The thing is, this is a season of celebrations, yeah? So you had Christmas just a few weeks ago. You had New Year's, right? In between, you have January the 1st, which is the birthdays for many people, because they don't remember their birthdays. If you know, you know, right? So if you forget, if you doubt at the immigration, January the 1st. So thousands of people, it was their birthday. So this question comes up. Those who are, how many parents do we have here? Parents. How many parents? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have some parents now, and most of you will become parents one day, yeah? And when you become parents, I'm a parent as well, your child, your son, daughter, it's gonna come up. Dad, can we celebrate this? Mum, can we celebrate that? Can we do this? Maybe not because they just thought of it, it's because the society we're living in, like the UK, the world we're living in, celebrations are pushed in your face all the time. Your friends at school, at college, your workplace is always celebrating, anything for a laugh, anything to celebrate, an occasion. So as I say in Urdu, bahana chahiye, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with celebrations per se. We celebrate all kinds of things, right? Alhamdulillah. For example, a lot of you will graduate and maybe your family put a little celebration on. Yeah, take you a treat, restaurant, whatever. It's a celebration. For example, brothers doing hifz, mashallah. When you do hifz, it's a grand occasion. There's many times you can do it. As long as it's not against Islamic law, as long as not against Sharia, you're allowed to celebrate. The thing is, we're living in a non-Muslim country where their origins, it was Christian. That can be disputed now. In fact, there was a latest poll, I don't know if you see it, a few weeks ago, where the poll said that I think there's 50% now profess to be non-Christian. That's first time in 1,000 odd year history since the Christians came here and the missionaries in the 600s or the 500s AD. That's a big change. So people are not conforming to religion now. They're conforming to nothing. Atheism, agnostic, or the famous one, I don't know. Because we do dawah stores. We do dawah stores, we interact with non-Muslims. When I ask, what's your religion? What's your way of life? I don't know. So I don't know is their religion, yeah? So when you have the people we live with, work with, study with, friends, non-Muslim friends from all cultures, especially in London, you got Hindus, you got Christians, you got atheists, everything in between. They will do anything for a laugh, anything to celebrate. So what happens is your child will come to you now or in the future when you become parents. I'm sure all of you will become parents one day, inshallah. You're going to have this discussion. Can we celebrate that, Dad? Can we do this, Dad? Can we do that? What's wrong with this? So I'm not here to give fatwa, first of all. I'm not here to give fatwa against birthdays, against New Year's. No. All I want you to do, and this is the key thing, inshallah, brothers and sisters, yeah, is just look and think about the origins of these celebrations. Because if you think about where these celebrations came from, that we're pushed in the media, social media, friends, peer pressure, then it will make you think, actually, do we really want to celebrate that when the origins is this, which I'm going to come through in a minute? And is it really worth doing it? Yeah? So that's all it is. It's just advice for you to think about. In Islam, we are encouraged to think. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, as the Quran says. Do they not reflect? Do we not think? Yeah? Islam is a religion, is a way to make you think, right? So I'm not here to condemn. I want to say this again and again. Please don't think, Brother Nadeem's against this thing. I'm just here to make you think, and you can make your own mind up. You guys look intelligent to me. In fact, let me have a look if there's any non-intelligent. No, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Everyone looks intelligent, alhamdulillah. Which means Allah's give you aql, which means that after this session, I'll make you think and you look at this and maybe do your own research, inshallah. So, and by this research is by no means exhaustive, not at all. This is just a cursory look at celebrations and just some of them. So, for example, Christmas. I don't know if some of you know this or not, but we see Christmas as, in fact, this is probably we've been taught. If you went up to your friend, a Christian friend at school, and if you asked them, why do you celebrate Christmas on the 25th December? What would they say? If a Christian, yeah, Jesus, exactly. It's the birth of Jesus. It's the birthday of Jesus. This is the day when Jesus came, when he was born. The thing is, when you look at history, which even Christians and your non-Muslims are not looking at, because they're doing things without thinking. They're celebrating Christmas, they're doing all these things, the trees, the Santa Claus, the crazy parties, the wild parties, everything, because everybody else is doing it. It's like, in Urdu, in Arabic, we have taqleed, the word taqleed, blind taqleed, following. They're just following. It's like, Nobby the sheep. And you're thinking, Brother Nadeem, what's Nobby the sheep? Is it some cartoon like Fireman Sam or something? Even that's an old one. Nobby the sheep is a sheep that follows the sheep. He's just following it. Yeah, I'm just a sheep following the crowd. If they all go towards this, if they're doing all this, it could be weird or craziness, I'm going to do that. So people follow others, so they're not thinking about it. So when you look at Christmas, there's actually many different origins for it, not just one. Yeah, just on the thing about Jesus, the brother said, a lot of historians have said that Jesus was actually born in the summer months, in the warm months. And just to give you two evidences for it, again, this is slightly educational, I'm not going to bore you too much, but number one evidence is that if you look at Christian literature, and they talk about Jesus' time of birth, when Mary conceived Isa alayhi salam, that was a time when the shepherds were out with their flock. They're out with their flock, with their sheep and goats and cows. They're out. But the thing is, Jesus was born in Nazareth in Palestine. That's it's generally a warm country, but it also gets cold. Yeah. So it makes you think that how can this be? Because in the cold, the sheep and flock is kept indoors because it gets very cold in Palestine. It gets very cold. So That's one evidence to show, okay, maybe, this claim that he was born on the 25th in the cold, that doesn't make sense. Especially when you look at this sign of flock and sheep and indoors and outdoors. The other one is that Maryam Islam, this is a Quranic narrative, that when she was about to give birth or before she was giving birth, subhanAllah, a lot of miraculous things happened to her. SubhanAllah, this is from Allah. And she had to leave the town and she went far away. And she went, of course, she needs to eat and drink. So she was eating ripe dates. Ripe dates. Now, anyone knows about dates? Ripe dates only happen in the heatest, in the hottest times, in the summer months, in the warm months. When they're cold, when they first started, they're red and yellow color. But when they're ripe, they're dark brown, juicy dark brown. But that can only happen in the heat. So what does that suggest? So when she was eating this, when she was pregnant with Isa alayhi salam, she was eating ripe dates. And that can only happen in the summer. So maybe next time you speak to a, I know there's not many left, but the old Christian school kid, you do get them, who actually follows their religions. Ask them, look, just think about that. You're saying Jesus was born in December, but when you look at the evidences, the situations, it was actually in the heat in the summer months. So that's one thing. So that's about Isa alayhi salam. So one thing we could dispute already is that is the birthplace of Isa alayhi salam. That's one thing of disputation. So you'll celebrate something which is not true. It doesn't make. How can we celebrate something which is not true and the historical evidence shows otherwise? The other one is in Rome, where the winters were harsh. Sometimes what they do, they celebrate which is called the Saturnalia. Saturnalia, yeah? It's a hedonistic time. In this time, the Romans, in 25th December, they used to celebrate wine, alcohol, and what comes after wine, alcohol? Tahajjud and salah? No, you can imagine if someone's drunk with alcohol, what they're going to do? They're going to get up to no good, right? I'm not going to obviously specify what. So plenty of food and drink, and the whole point of that celebration in Rome, Saturnalia, during this time, the solstice, is so they can go do everything upside down. I don't know if you guys know about Romans. You guys know a bit, right? Romans, were they not known for law and order and discipline? That's why they had a 1,000-year empire that lasted a long time, because of discipline, order. But this is the time when they wanted to go against order. They wanted to go against order, subhanAllah. Meaning, do what you want. No law, no sharia, no rules, just go crazy. And subhanAllah, when you leave a human being to go crazy, Allahu Akbar, we can become worse than animals. Because that's how we are. That's how insan are. We just let our desires come out. So that was one. So that was one concept. The other one is that December the 25th, there was a god called Mithra or Mithras, a pagan god. A pagan god, the son of God. And what's really interesting, this Mithra character, and by the way, you can't really find it in real history, you have to really dig deep, right? By the way, just one reference, there's a sheikh, he's an amazing speaker, Abdullah Hakim Quick. Abdullah is phenomenal. I mean, he's not as active as he used to be, but his stuff on history is extremely fascinating. MashaAllah, he's a revert and he's done a lot of research, mashallah. So you can check his stuff out on all these religious origins, and he's especially very good with history when it comes to Islam in Africa, in North America. Amazing, fascinating history, inshallah. So Mithra was someone born of a rock, a god, a sun god, or a type of pagan god, and had bread and wine, and died for the people's sins. And those who know history, Christianity, apparently this is what Jesus did. Jesus died for our sins. Yeah. So it's like, what's going on here? So all these things, what's happening is Christianity, as far as historians go, they looked at these pagan rituals and celebrations, and they just added the Christian flavor to it. They mixed it up. And one of the theories is because Christianity, in their dawah, their missionary work, they wanted to become popular. People resisted it. People have been following pagan rituals for centuries, right? The Greeks, the Romans. When the missionaries, the Christians went out to give their dawah, to preach the gospel, they saw these guys doing this celebration, that celebration, and it's popular. If we go against this, then they're going to turn against that. They won't become Christian. So I tell you what, let's mix it all up. Let's make a keema of it. Let's make a mincemeat of it. Yeah? So you'll see this happen again and again and again. So Mithra, that was one concept. The other one is, and it gets really evil now. In the northern Germanic countries, north of Germany, Scandinavia, there was a god called Odin, another pagan god. And he used to come out on December 25th, right? And the Germans, especially Germans, they were terrified of Odin. He was someone with a long white beard, and and he was someone who had a red fur coat, long white beard, red fur coat. Now, what's come to your mind? Santa Claus. Who believes in Santa Claus here? I used to when I was young. Anyway, until my dad goes, Santa Claus nahi hai. Anyway, so that's one. And this was an evil person. This is an evil god. This is an evil paganistic ritual. They used to, the Germanic tribes, they used to scare their kids, do not go out in the winter because Odin, the evil spirit god, will come with his big white beard and his red fur coat. Yeah? SubhanAllah. So this is another pagan thing. Another one, two more, is someone called Bacchus. Bacchus is, again, someone with white beard. He used to come out in the December time, towards the end of December. He had a sledge, and there's a painting made of him. Bacchus had a sledge, and he was flying because he had snakes, flying snakes, pulling the sledge. And I think it's Michelangelo or one of the big Italian painters. They painted a picture. This is the god Bacchus. You see, again, sledge, flying. Where do we see that? No, Santa Claus. The reindeers, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer? No? Okay. So we got that. And then there's another one, and this is the last concept. All these concepts, all these rituals, again, all on the December 25th, all at the same time. Like, was it a coincidence? You know, you can imagine Christians saying, oh, it's just coincidence. Why we should be celebrating Islam. Then I'm going to go to how can you appreciate Islam more. And I believe the way to appreciate Islam is look at life through the foundations of Islam. Look at life through the lenses of the Islamic foundational basis, the basis of Islam, the concept of Islam. When you look at life through this basis, then you understand, okay, shall I celebrate this? Shall I celebrate that? Shall I do this? Shall I avoid that? And then what is the Islamic foundation? We're going to cover that. And then we'll discuss about Allah and why He deserves worship and the effects of knowing Allah. So if we know Allah, we will appreciate Islam more. And if we appreciate Islam more, we will practice Islam more. We will look at life, whether it's going out to town for shopping, whether it's a workplace, whether it's online, whether it's anywhere, you will always look at everything from an Islamic viewpoint. And why should we do that? I'll be justifying it because you need to know Allah. And when you know Allah, subhanAllah, the effects it has on your life. There's so many benefits of knowing Allah. There's a million benefits. So we're going to go through that, inshallah. We're going to have a small activity as well, which is a group activity, inshallah. Let's see how that goes, inshallah. That'll be fun. And then end and then Q&A, inshallah. Okay? So we are a member of the Muslim Ummah. I don't know if you know this. Some of these might be basic points, but we forget it. Because we're so busy in the dunya, working, studying, online, social media, chilling out, shopping, this, that, Asda, every Friday night, Asda, the milk, the white milk, the bread milk, getting up in the morning, breakfast. We're so busy, we forget that, we are actually a member of the Muslim Ummah, which is 1 billion plus, strong. So one thing we should celebrate in the first point is you are a member of a huge community, mashallah. This is your family, this is your brothers and sisters. That brother and sister in Yemen, that brother and sister in Alaska, that brother and sister in Russia, that brother and sister any part of the day, we're the same community, mashallah. This is a cause of celebration. You're not a small group just in East London or Ilford or Kent or Sussex, whatever, or North London or whichever part of London. You're part of a ummah. You should always remember that. Because when you remember that, you feel you have a sense of pride, mashallah. And this is the community, this is the ummah that's produced so many scholars. One day, inshallah, make dua, I'll do a halaqah just on scholars. In fact, you can't do a halaqah. You have to do a whole year course. You have to do like a 3-year course on scholars. Because one of the things I'm really proud about Islam, of many things, one of them is that we have such intellectual depthness, mashallah. We've had giants in the ummah, scholars, right? Scholars who specialize in different topics. And there's thousands. You know, I'm just looking at this name at the back, Ilford Cricket Club. It's got all these luminaries, right? If you take a look at the back there, you've got presidents, you've got secretaries, you've got captains. I mean, these are people that are celebrated. This cricket club is celebrating all these luminaries. Who are the founders? Who are the captains? And then maybe they've got another record of he scored a double 100, he got this many, he got a hat trick, whatever. They're celebrating. We have so many scholars, right? Where do we start? It's mind-boggling. And the tragedy is, we don't know their names. We know the names of actors and celebrities and fake social media influencers. But the scholars who were so amazing, these scholars, the men and women, the people of knowledge, were so amazing that when you look at their life, when you study their biographies, when you look at their teachings, when you look at their quotations, their quotes, subhanAllah, they're so amazing, they're so profound, that not only do they contribute to Islam, but when you follow their teachings, when you follow their advice, it can actually benefit you. It will actually benefit you. For example, mental health, anxiety, depression, stress. There's no one in this room who say, you know what, Nadeem bhai, I have mere paas koi stress nahi. I have zero stress. I have zero anxiety. Impossible. We are living in an age of anxiety. This is the age of mental health issues. So who do we go to? And when I speak to non-Muslims, or maybe you've spoken to Muslims, you know, bro, how are you feeling? Oh, feeling stress, anxiety of the weekend, I this, that, the other. And then you ask him, what did you do about it? I listened to music. I listened to some opera. I went to the club. I went out with my girlfriend or boyfriend. I went out shopping. Anything to escape the problem. But that never solves it. In fact, that probably it makes the probably exacerbates a problem. So really what they should be doing, Muslims should be following the advice of these scholars who talked about mental health. So just a few names. And I'm going to ask you to raise your hands. Has anyone heard of Sufyan al-Thawri? Who's heard of the name Sufyan al-Thawri? Sufyan, sorry, okay. Abdullah ibn Mubarak. Okay. Khatib al-Baghdadi. Ibn Hazm. Yeah. Ibn Qudama. So, you know, as I've just seen, only a few put their hand up. Like when you say scholars, we think of maybe, you know, Ibn Abbas, who was the first Mufassir or first Tafsir, and we think of Ibn Masud, who was a Sahaba. When we think of scholars, then, and this is the tragedy, this is the, subhanAllah, I know it's a bit off topic. You know, we will quote speakers' names who are popular on social media. You know, mental health is one issue. The other issue we're living in the age in is screen magic. Until you're on the screen, you're nobody. You're not known. Who are you? Go on at them. How many subscribers have you got? How many views on your videos? Then you're not bothered. So the speakers, half-baked speakers with half-baked knowledge, when you ask a brother and sister who the speakers, I'm not going to give any names, by the way, yeah? I'm not going to expose anyone, but they'll mention speakers' names. They're not scholars, they're just speakers, they're just motivational speakers. Scholars are these kind of this level, and we do have ulama, but very few. But these are giants. These are people who used to, subhanAllah, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah. Who's heard of Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah? Which I'm going to quote quite often, right? Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, I did a little reel on my Instagram, where he wrote the book Dawa or Dawa Shafi. And this book was a result, according to different opinions, but one opinion is, he just wrote a letter of advice to someone because someone had heartbreak. Kisi ka dil toot gaya tha, bichara. Okay. Okay, just a laugh. Okay, fine. Didn't work. I thought you guys, you know, Pakistani emotion, that kind of thing, heartbreak, dil tootna. Okay, fine. Okay. Sare dil toot. So anyway, he wrote a letter because someone had a heartbreak all those centuries ago. And he wrote a letter, and this letter became a book. SubhanAllah. So it's just a letter, and it became a book, mashallah. So they used to write letters which became books, right? And most of the scholars, like Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and many others, they used to write small booklets, but now these books have become like, corporate, for example, university level textbooks now, subhanAllah. So these are just some of the scholars we should be celebrating their life. You look at their biographies, you look at what they contribute to our civilization, it will blow your mind, brothers. And that's just a small thing. Yeah? So Sufyan al-Thawri, al-Awza'i, and many others. We know Abu Hanifa, right? You've heard of Abu Hanifa? The founders of four madhabs. Imam Shafi, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam Malik, yes. But that's for just many, thousands, yeah? So we should be celebrating Islam for many reasons. One is scholars. The other one is that things like, these are something that really touched me profoundly. If a guest comes to your house, if you have a guest, what is the right of the guest? Does anyone know? Mehman, what is their right if they come to your house? Anyone know? Okay. They have the right to stay at least 3 nights. It is your duty to treat them like royals and kings and queens for 3 nights. After that, you don't have to be rude, of course. But this is their right. Which culture or religion, which pagan ritual teaches this? Where? I want to see if it exists in other religions. But this is Islam. This is our deen, where the guest comes, he has a right for 3 nights, right? So we are people who are known for their hospitality. We have in our deen brotherhood, sisterhood. Often a lot of this question comes up when we discuss with students and youth that Nadeem bhai, I've lived a certain life. My family is not Islamic. My friends are not Islamic. They're not on the deen. They're completely lost. They go to clubs and this and that, or they don't pray. They don't seek knowledge. They're not really bothered. They're Muslim. They got Muslim names. They don't say we're not Muslims, but they're anything but Muslims. Like the practice is not there. So I want to change, but the fear, what the fear is? Dar ke pata kya hai? Well, dar kya hai? If I change, I will lose my friends. Kho jaunga. I worked so hard, 10, 15 years on this friendship. And if I change to become a Maulvi, become Islamic, start wearing a hijab, having the beard, he or she's going to leave me and dump me. Oh no, how my friends will leave me? And you know what we do? You know what we assure them? We say, that may or may not happen. Because if you change, whatever you're learning to change, you could be listening to a Quran, you could be attending a YC event here or in Pakistan, a video, a motivational lecture, something that sparked a change, that you want to leave the non-Islamic way of life, you want to become a practicing Muslim, you want to become obedient to Allah. Not only should you change, but give your friends advice. Why are you being selfish about this? Yar, listen, I used to not pray, but you know what? Start praying, bro. Start praying, sister. It's really going to help you. It's a beautiful feeling. Yeah? So not only when you're changing, you should tell your friends, but not all will change. They don't want to let go of their practices, their way of life. The thing is, I will not assure you, say, you know what, if you change, I can't guarantee your friends won't leave you. They probably will leave you. I know it sounds really sad, but you know what? This has happened so many times. If you change from non-practicing to becoming a practicing Muslim, inshallah, then if you lose your friends, Allah will replace your friends with brothers and sisters. Would you rather have a friend based in friendship because of similar music and movies, or a brother and sister that will die for you? That will care for you in this life and the akhirah, the real life that's coming. That's what I want. I don't know about you guys. I'd rather have a brother and sister. So this is what Deen teaches. We have sisterhood. We have brotherhood. Ikhwatul Muslima. Yeah, that's Islam. We should be celebrating that. This is what we should be celebrating. Yeah? We should be celebrating things, principles like, Islam has so many amazing principles. Things like, Allahu Akbar, things like, tell the truth even if it's against yourself. That's how much we for truth and justice. Tell the truth even if it's against yourself. I mean, you know what I was thinking about this? Which religion, which ideology, which system of life teaches this, right? We have in Islam, we have something called ikhlas, sincerity. We have tafsir on ikhlas. So, do you know what I mean by sincerity? Like doing things really sincerely as they should be done, right? Not because to show people, not being fake, but doing it from the bottom of your heart, doing it like you mean it, yeah? So we have tafsir, we have hadith, prophetic sayings, we have books, we have courses on sincerity. We have oceans of knowledge of sincerity. Which other way of life is promoting this? Hardly. If anyone knows, I genuinely mean this. Give me Brother Nadeem, actually, there's a Christian scholar from 14th century. He's written an amazing book on Ikhlas. I would love to see that. This is Islam. Let's celebrate the fact that Islam gave us sincerity. Yeah. I want to give you some quick examples of why we should be celebrating Islam as well. Does anyone know what Ilm Feed is? It's a very beautiful website, social media page. They're always giving positive messages. Brother, I think his name's Rafiq, mashallah. And he's got this Ilm Feed. If you check it out on social media, he's very active on Instagram, on Facebook, Ilm Feed. And beautiful positive posts, because we're always doom and gloom. Oh, there's a destruction here, there's Dubai here, Pakistan economy, Imran Khan, PTI, PML, this, that, depression, economy. It's like you look at the news and you just, you're depressed anyway because of life. You look at the news, you're extra depressed, right? Somehow by looking at the news, you'll solve the world. So when you look at Ilm Feed news, it actually gives you a ray of hope. Because we are insan, we need hope, right? So I've give some examples here. Just bear with me. So for example, this comes in regularly. There was a restaurant in Qatar, and it had a sign on its windows which read, "If you are hungry, have no money, eat here for free." That's a restaurant owner in Qatar. There's so many examples like that, right? There's a famous picture, if you check it out, it's on Facebook. It says, "A family that prays together stays together." A family that prays together, and there's actually a picture of a father, two sons praying, and 20 years ago, and when they're older, they're still praying together. SubhanAllah. This is Islam. This is what we should be celebrating, right? Islam is something like, there's a famous incident happened, somebody shared on Facebook. So this non-Muslim said, a few years ago, our car broke down. And we had to be towed home from Disneyland. It's about a 50-minute drive. During the trip, I noticed a tow truck driver looking in the rear view mirror. And he did it several times. I finally asked, is everything was right, all right? Like, why'd you keep looking back? He then explained that he was keeping an eye on how fast the sun was setting, and that he needed to pull over for a moment when the sun sets. My husband and I looked at each other, just kind of wondering, what the heck is going on? The driver pulled over to a safe spot on the side of the road, and then asked us to excuse him just for a few moments. He took a rug out from under his seat, walked over to grass, and on the side, he knelt down and prayed to his God. And she says, it was one of the most beautiful and humbling things I've ever seen in my life. SubhanAllah. Allahu Akbar. Just, this is what we should be celebrating. And then I think in Ilford, there's a China grill not Ilford, there's a China grill in Southall. George must know. George mashallah is foodie. China grill, TKC. So they do a sign which is they put a massive sign calling free food. So they do that time for homeless, for anybody come, you can come in, inshallah. There was a sign in a restaurant in Kuwait. Whoever is hungry and can't afford to pay for a shawarma sandwich will get that one for free. Just tell us. Yeah? In Dewsbury is known for its famous tablighi, mashallah, markaz. There was a tweet by a non-Muslim, the more caring side of Dewsbury, 3 Asian lads dressed with hats and thobes and shawakamis. 3 Asian lads stopped to help an old lady and her granddaughter whose car was broken down. And has anyone heard of a figure in our recent history called Umar Mukhtar? Who's heard of Umar Mukhtar, right? He was, the Liberation Front for Libya, who fought against the Italians. He had this amazing, beautiful quote. He said, so the quote is this: when the great Libyan anti-colonial liberation fighter, Umar Mukhtar, protected 2 surviving Italian prisoners, saying, "We do not kill prisoners." So they're fighting against Italians, and Italians did a lot of dhulm on the Libyans, by the way. It's a very tragic history. We do not kill prisoners. So his fellow warrior said, but the Italians do it to us. When we are imprisoned by the Italians, they treat us so disgustingly, so horribly. Umar Mukhtar responded with these majestic words: they are not our teachers. Italians are not our teachers. Our teachers are Rasulullah sallallahu Rahmat al-Alameen. Yeah? And last one, Muhammad Ali saying, the famous boxer, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. SubhanAllah. And there's so many, these are some moment, I mean, there's millions, but I just want to give you like a flavor. This is our deen. This is what we should be celebrating, right? We should be celebrating people like Imam Ghazali. Just give me a few moments. Right? Imam Ghazali, he wrote this beautiful, I don't know, who likes to read, I know this may be a funny question to ask, but who likes to read books? Books? What's that? Well, you know, it's like a, yeah. Who reads books? Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, mashallah. So something we need to really, you know, revive and do much. I know we love our videos, but books is, you know. So Al-Ghazali wrote a book called Love, Longing, Contentment and Intimacy in Islam. It's part of a larger compendium. Some speakers I've spoken to in different parts of the world, they said this book is absolutely phenomenal. It'll make you cry, it'll blow your mind. It's a beautiful book. And Al-Ghazali wrote it, mashallah. And so this is the author of that. And he's an amazing scholar. He should be celebrated. We should be celebrating people like Ibn Qayyim. When I'm doing a lot of quotes, I love my quotes. These are my 2 go-to scholars. First, I've got many others, but these are my 2 go-to scholars. What did Al-Ghazali say? Just one. He says, to get what you love, you must first be patient with what you hate. To get what you love, you must first be patient with what you hate. And Ibn Qayyim, who's known as a scholar of the heart, the doctor of the heart, he says patience is that the heart does not feel anger towards that which is destined, and that the mouth does not complain. You may have to think about these. And you know what? Some of these quotes you have to think and look at it a few times. That's how deep they are. And depthness is a good thing because that's Islam. Yeah? Patience is that the heart does not feel anger towards that which is destined, and the mouth does not complain. Ibn Qayyim. Right. So here now, I'm going to do an activity, inshallah. And after I'm going to talk about Allah and how knowing Allah, we all love homework, right? Yeah, we love homework, alhamdulillah. So the homework